Okay, so Asaf like celebrates and does some like back handsprings because this is the first challenge he's won. I'm sorry. Act like when people say the phrase like "act like you've won before," he has not won before.
Yeah.
So let him freaking celebrate. Kylan, tell me about how many freaking wins you have. Like, I'm starting to be. I'm not the tone in my voice. I guess I'm past starting to be on your team with annoyed by Kylan.
You think Asaf had just won an Academy Award? Like, it's a 5 or 6 piece puzzle. Right now, you should probably have your head down about how long it took you to solve it.
I didn't like
don't be like, oh, you should be sad because it took you so long to solve that puzzle. Get out of here. Let the man do his back handsprings. Say good job. What up, challenge fans? This is Final Alliance Podcast. We are recapping episode 9 of the challenge, season 39, titled A Banana Split.
Yay! Nah, it's a good title. Got me excited, but
Great title.
why do you think it's a great title?
Because Mariah's with bananas. Clearly, they're going to split. A little bit of tea happens there at the end with Tori calling it out.
Yeah, I mean, we mean clearly. I mean, that was episodes ago. We saw that coming, whatever else. But I mean, we could fast forward to this. What would Bananas do?
Split, though.
I don't know. Make the entire episode about himself without ever showing up in the episode. So we got that category checked off.
Yeah, we do.
They made it about him without him doing anything. I mean, it would have been.
I'm sure a tweet will be coming if it has not yet come.
This is the one. Listen, we talk about this every week, and I'm glad we do. And I hope we point this out to people. Producers will take you where you want to go. This is the one time the producers drop the ball. And they could have figured out a way, and they're not dumb. They know how to do storylines, that it could have been a men's challenge and bring bananas in.
Right.
And then you have the whole thing. Now, that's not to say next week he doesn't come in. They said 11
He's
time.
not coming.
It's not him. He's more than 11 time, right? Challenger?
He's way more than that. He's like
That's
20 times.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm like, okay.
Maybe Brad.
But then you
Darrell.
then you do the whole thing that we've talked about before. You load up all 3 of those hammers as chaos so that bananas can come in. And don't get me wrong, it'll come down if it's not next week, the next male challenge or whatever else. They'll all be chaos. We'll never see the other two. Banana pulls it out and he's like, guess what, James? Guess you're coming down. And they're going to do like the Karate Kid 2. I'll be the man who will fight for your honor. Peter Cetera's version. So we're going to see about it.
Oh, that song.
Anyway, I don't, like I said, it's what would bananas do? Hey, what can I do to live rent free and everybody in the challenge? And they make a title about me when I'm not even going to be in the episode whatsoever.
Oh, it makes me want to just for like the week subscribe to Wes's Patreon to hear what he would have to say about exactly what you just said, because that would be gold. Wes speaking about the episode being titled about bananas and bananas not even.
I mean, I probably would have done Three's Company.
Three's Company. Okay.
It's good. I don't know. How about I'm a parent, you're a parent? Wouldn't you like to be a parent too? Because that was said quite a bit.
We're parents.
Jeez, Murphy. You know how I feel about everyone's got a reason for being somewhere outside of winning money. I'm a parent, you're a parent, you got my back, sure, up until I don't have your back. And then all of a sudden, how dare you? You're a parent just like me. Like, oh, okay. Well, guess what else I have? 2 legs, 2 arms. I breathe involuntarily. Like,
it's crazy.
I know. All right. There's a lot to... not a lot to unpack in this episode.
So, okay. Yeah. I am... First, we have old business from last week. Mm-hmm. Remember we had talked about the men dancing. And I'm like, what is that song? We were all thinking, you were thinking it was like Poison. I'm thinking like...
Fallen Angel, Talk Dirty to Me, something like that.
All kinds of like just bangers from back in the day. Mm-hmm. And we posted a reel on the Insta and we tagged the guys that were in the video like Manuel... Jay, Corey, Ed, and they all responded that it was Asaf's music. The band the artist is Extraordinary with like no vowels, and the song was Die for Nothing. Everybody check that song out, because apparently if you are a man, it is going to make you want to stand and dance on a chair.
There you go. But we tell everyone our Instagram that they could follow the same one that our reel was on.
Yeah, you can see the reel on our Instagram.
Yeah,
at Final Alliance.
Fun fact. Did you know that Asaf was a parent?
I heard that.
Yeah, okay.
I was like not.
I don't know if you
sure.
missed it. I know you take notes, But there's so many notes to take that maybe you missed it because
Maybe I missed that.
It was only said a couple times. But anyway, and apparently the kid came out of the womb and said, "What is it? Abo," and that means dad. But he says he's been saying it forever. Even though he goes, he's 13 months old, but he's been saying it forever. So the kid came right out and was like, said dad in whatever language that it was. So the kid's incredible, and he's a parent. I'll stop beating this eventually.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so again, I'm going to try my best not to actually recap for once in my life, and I'm actually going to not do the full recap for once in my life. We will speak extensively about the challenge because I really did like this challenge, but there were two main conversations this episode, and those conversations were Mariah is kind of AWOL. We don't know where she stands with our alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, she cheating.
Yeah. Stepping out on bananas. Yeah.
In their non-relationship relationship.
Yeah.
And Manuel is with all the ladies.
Apparently, yeah.
Those are the two
they've got something going all over the place, yeah.
And then with that, it's, potentially Colleen to vote in and potentially Mariah to vote in.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. Emmanuel seems like a okay dude, Seems kind of like he's got the riz and
sure
dances. He's funny. I was shocked as heck at the amount of women that he is polling right now.
Yeah, and then
and we don't know to what extent, but yeah. Colleen, we see him cuddling with Raven. We see him dancing with Olivia.
Cuddling with Olivia also, yeah.
Yeah, cuddling with
twice we see it.
They're all talking at one point together, a lot of the girls, and she's
he
they
can't do it.
Hit on you so many times before you're finally like, okay, so I think that maybe they kissed, him and Olivia. And then, but what made me feel sad was because Colleen and Emmanuel had connected about real stuff, and maybe also with the others. We just didn't see that, and it wasn't highlighted. The others makes it sound like it's really a whole lot. The two others, but on personal level about their childhood, growing up, all that kind of stuff, and she was genuinely hurt with him going for other girls.
Well, yeah, but she's like, I just don't want to be a part of this little love triangle. It's more than a little love triangle, but she just was like, hey, it's been fun. There's no strings attached type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can continue our conversations, friendship, but moving forward, there's really nothing else there, which I don't even think that went through his skull. I thought it was he was like, yeah, there are no connections, no strings attached, but we're going to continue doing this. That's the way I took his reaction. He's like, yeah, I'm fully on board with that. And I was like, I don't think he's understanding what you're saying, but those two. But again, when we talk to producers, and I know we're not going to recap too much, but right away, the whole Michelle talking about Melissa kind of gives you a feel of what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. We knew, essentially after Big T went home last week, Melissa's days were numbered as far as being voted in. She was going to get voted in again unless she won.
It's taken me a while to figure out what it is with Michelle, and I always say this, her one-on-one or confessionals, what it is that I just don't get, that I just don't like them. Okay?
Okay.
And I finally figured it out this episode.
Okay.
I don't know how familiar, we've talked about Saturday Night Live before. I don't know how familiar you are with Saturday Night Live. I watched, I would say, not to memory, but I've watched almost, I would say, at least 90% of every episode since I can remember.
Okay, so I would be less fluent than that. I probably have watched 2 episodes in the last decade.
Okay, so in the last decade, Seth Meyers would have been at Weekend Update, and Cicely Strong would have been a character that come on every once in a while. And it's the girl you would not like to have a conversation with at a party, and she's kind of half intoxicated, but also talks over you and doesn't listen to everything you're saying. And if you say something else, she'll be like, read a book. And if you can go to YouTube, Cicely Strong, Seth Meyers, SNL, the girl least likely to have a conversation with the party, they sound exactly the same. And it finally hit me this episode. So not to take too much off of what we're here to talk about, but
okay. Well, yeah. And that's an accent. I think she's from maybe Long Island or something. I know she
Yeah,
lives in like
probably.
Hoboken.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
But
will have
it's
to
yeah,
check
it's
that
the way
out.
that
So
she
that's
talks,
what it
and
is.
she talks over people, and she just doesn't listen and everything else. Like,
See, and I don't necessarily feel like she does talk over people. I feel like when she's having conversations with people, she does a good job of listening and responding and like actually taking things in. But like in the challenge when she was like yelling at them,
yeah,
that was like, oof.
Yeah.
Did not care for that.
well, I think maybe we just have different likes or dislikes when it comes to her. You're saying that she listens and then she takes it all in and speaks. I think
Well, like Melissa's
I
like
think she listens and waits till she can speak for the pause, so then she can interject and say something the way some people can. Some people take things, they soak them in, and they go,
Mhm.
"Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I don't want to, I don't want to take away from your feelings or what you've said. I want to thought process. So hear me out as I process it. Okay, and listening, blah, blah, blah." I think she waits for the quietness and then speaks. So
Could be.
yeah,
Could be.
But we don't know her as a person.
But I know it like at the beginning when Melissa was upset because Big T went home and Michelle's like, you know, hugging her, consoling her, and she's like, I care about her as like her mental health.
Mhm.
And you're like, so she could just, what?
play both sides. Yeah, well, I mean, she's not concerned about her mental health. Get out of here. She just wins.
I think
trying
she
to find a way to
is. Like
play
as a
both
human
sides.
being, I think of
Like
absolutely she
if
cares.
she lost it, Melissa won, she'd be like, "Remember when I hugged you and I talked to you about your mental health? Don't throw me in." Because then, basically, she yelled at everyone
True.
during the challenge that we're
True.
talking about. She yelled at everyone like, "Oh, you peppers," So
A couple things I saw that I do want to talk about because I thought they were funny. There was a shot of people working out in the morning.
No.
And it was somebody doing something. Then it was Emmanuel kicking, I don't know, whatever the things you kick, like the mat or whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah, Michelle on the treadmill, right? Yeah.
And then we have Kylan with badminton. I I freaking love badminton. That is some fun stuff. But it was just kind of funny, just like the kind of like, I don't know,
She's,
juxtaposition.
Just getting done, the sweat's coming off, the sun's like setting or rising or whatever else. He's like kicking a heavy bag. It's all in slow mo, and you're like Rocky montage. I get what's going on here. And he's got a badminton. And what else comes with the badminton? I don't even what is that called?
Well, there's two terms.
No.
You could call it a birdie or a shuttlecock.
That's what I was gonna say, the birdie. But what is this? A badminton? What do you hold there?
Racket.
The racket.
It's just a
So he's got a
racket.
racket, and Kylan's just smashing that birdie in slow motion. And I like grab my face because we watched it together, and I'm like, no way were they doing this to make him in slow motion. Like that is awful. And I don't know how he wears a tank top when it doesn't go down 4 buttons, but somehow he does. So, and he did it that one.
Oh, so funny. Oh, and on the Emmanuel thing, Melissa did say that he tried to kiss her twice, and apparently he has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, what is with these men having girlfriends and then getting on the show and being like, what ifs?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's not even a hall pass. That's just like an all pass that he got to his girlfriend. He's like, hey, if I can make some money, am I allowed to go? What's the Big Brother?
Showmance?
Yeah, not showmance. They call it. No, it's not.
Politic.
Yeah, politic. Sorry, that's a challenge. Term. Yeah,
from Ashley.
Yeah.
Challenge. I really liked this one. It was 3 challenges in one. It's called Doom Sticks. So they're paired up, except there's an odd number. So there's one team of 3, and TJ
title Three's Company.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, because then
and it would have worked with bananas too. I didn't even. You were going that direction.
I was thinking the banana. Yeah.
And you also said this love triangle, whatever else with Emmanuel. It's such a bad title.
Okay. Petition for the episode title to have been Three's Company.
Oh man, why don't we work with these people? All right. Sorry. Yeah.
TJ in his nice Carhartt shirt and hat, kind of kicking it old school with the black on black, tells us that, you guys got to be ready because this champ is a goat. So then I was thrown off because I had seen a promo today, and no disrespect to the champ that we see, but when I think goat, I think like from like back in the day.
Yeah. Ones that we throw on the Mount Rushmore, and it's always it is revolving. We've talked about this many times. I would say at least 3 or 4 times, and there's some that stay on there, and there's like one that changes. But 9-time challenger, 6-time finalist, 1-time champion isn't the ultimate GOAT, but.
We didn't say ultimate GOAT.
No, I'm just saying.
But it did throw
GOAT
me.
is the ultimate. How's that? It doesn't matter. It's a great
word.
You can't just throw it around.
Yeah,
anymore.
true.
That's 6th grade.
It was a like zigzag, because I hear GOAT and I knew who was coming, and so I'm thinking that okay, it was a girls' day last week, so then it means it's men's day. That's probably we're gonna see CT this time, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody's gonna debate that like. He is potentially the GOAT, if not him, Bananas.
Yeah, that's why I thought it would be Bananas too, because I thought it'd be perfect that they're sending us in the right direction. I always say they will take you where you need to go. Just pay attention. They just did it a little bit too early.
Mm-hmm.
They sprinkled it in between Melissa and. Did you know she has a kid?
Vienna is her name.
Oh, there's a Billy Joel song named Vienna too.
I wonder if that's the reasoning.
And yeah, it's not about her. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be about like the 4-year-old child.
She's 4?
Yeah, something like that. Her daughter.
She's been gone that long?
I think so.
Oh.
I could be wrong on the age. Maybe 3, maybe 2. But she was pregnant at that final. The one like that Bananas
That's
won.
right. Yeah.
That never comes up like publicly on the show. But
Yeah.
everybody on the internet and in the challenge world knows that was there.
We talked about it because I remember in the tea or whatever else we've talked about that. Huh.
But anyway, I digress. All right, so it's called Doomsticks.
Mm-hmm.
Partners, 1 team of 3. Three's Company. Come and knock on our door.
The Regal Beagle.
The first portion is called Speed Sticks. You have 5 sticks that you have to essentially transfer from one rack to the other. And you grab a stick, you run back, put it back, or put it on the other side, tag to your partner, and they do the same thing. But while you are grabbing your stick, you can also grab someone else's stick to sabotage them.
Mm-hmm.
The team that is in last place is eliminated, and the winning team gets to pick 2 teams that are also not going to get to move on to the next round. I like this one. I always like the ones where they can sabotage each other.
Yeah.
And I like the simplicity of this. You're running, you're grabbing something, you're running back, tagging your partner.
But you know my only problem with this,
okay?
My only problem is you run down with your, let's just for lack of better words, it's Speed Sticks, pool noodle.
That's what I was thinking, pool noodle.
You put it in one of the 5 in the hole on yours, okay? Then you can go to anybody else's you want. You can grab one of their pool noodles, Speed Sticks, and you can come back. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my problem is that you could go down to wherever you wanted to and then sprint across the field. And I know this is a podcast, but those of you watching on YouTube, you can see at least where I'm tracing.
Also, we have video on Spotify if you didn't know
and
that.
Spotify, please, watch it. So you can see I'm tracing. Even if you're on the very far right, you could run down the left, very far left, come down and run across the field, tag your partner, and then put the noodle into the hole, the people that you sabotaged. That's what I didn't like. I think you should. Yes, it is. Don't shake your head. No.
No, you put. Oh yeah, you're right. You do because
Yeah.
it's not going in your own.
Yeah. So I think you
My
should
bad.
have to go put it in there, and those costly seconds. I don't care if it's 3, 7, or 12. Then you have to go and tag your partner.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
You're
and that's the
absolutely right.
only thing that I think is the. Not only that, because also there's. I don't even remember if they were wearing helmets. I don't think they were. But the fact that you are crossing across people, you're creating a possibility of
A collision for sure.
where if you have to run straight from the person down basically what would be a lane. I don't remember if there were lanes or not, but that should be the thing. Not like, oh, I can tag the person and then I can just walk over
Mm-hmm.
and then do it while I'm catching my breath, because that's all you're doing. You're catching your breath instead of standing there, you're humped over. That is a better thing for you to keep walking, moving while you're waiting to get tagged again. So you walk down, you tag, whatever else.
Right.
That one was too easy for me. That's the only thing, my only criticism. Other than that, I thought all 3 of these were fantastic.
It was just simple and good. But yeah, you're right. That should have been a factor in the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it did seem there were a couple times, like I think it was maybe Berna, that like she started to run before, like it wasn't specified if there was a line that needed to be crossed or a hand that needed to be touched.
I saw the same thing you did. Yeah,
and I was kind of like,
it never looked like it. Even going back, and again, we watch it together. There's only so many things we can rewind because we have to do this as well. But I do believe there was a time like the speed stick is in the right hand. She's coming, so his right side, it would be her right side also, and she takes off. There's no tagging at all. And
right.
And even if she did, then she tagged the noodle, and she's well past it. She's offside. Tony from the Chiefs was the other night. Yeah.
Okay. People be talking about that.
He will be. See, I drop references outside of just pop culture.
Look at you go. Look at you go. Okay, so the team that wins is the trio. So it's Raven, Asaf, and Zara. And Melissa and James almost won. They were really close.
Mm-hmm.
The losing team was Kyland and Michelle. And Michelle and Kyland's was the first one to be grabbed. I think Manuel grabbed that one.
Yeah.
And then I think Melissa grabbed later, and she was very upset. She's like, "Don't grab my stuff," because I think she thought that people were just gonna be like, I don't know, not.
Kylan was just like, we are playing both sides. We're cool as can be. I don't understand why anyone would even come close to thinking about grabbing one of ours. And Emmanuel, like right away, is like, Kylan's out.
Yeah.
And so that's what he says in his one-on-one, and then Melissa follows suit, and then they're out, and then that's when Michelle says you go at first. So,
so they pick James and Melissa to be out, and Colleen and Ed to be out, which is a very easy, safe choice. I feel like with their alliance.
Yeah. So the Raven situation with Melissa, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter like what side you fall on. Still's drinking her face. You can't fault Raven at all for that.
And I really did appreciate that. Okay, so here's how this first one went. It was Asaf saying, "I'll do whatever you guys want," and then Zaza's kind of in between because she's, been primarily working with the Brits because she is, Brit. And Raven's like, "Look, she threw a drink in my face. Come on." And
everyone,
Zaza being the, good person she is, was like, "I'm going to give you that."
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody should have been like 100%. We got you.
Yeah, like I'm not going to, absolutely.
The next one, I don't know where they came up with why they had to do.
This is called Power Sticks. They have sleds with sticks. They're heavy.
Yeah.
They got to drag them. I don't know, maybe 30 yards. And, you pull it down, you grab a stick. You pull it down, you grab a stick. Put $1 and I got a car. I put $1 and I got a car. Yeah. Do you know that reference?
No.
Vegas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
And then, with the five,
Ethan
once
Embry.
they get the, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I always had a little bit of a crush on him.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Can't hardly wait.
I know. Yeah. Strawberry Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
She had the exact same
pastry, strawberry
breakfast pastry.
I actually saw on the trivia for that movie that he was like super stoned the entirety of that movie, and he smelled so bad, like of weed, that Jennifer Love Hewitt was like giving him like all kinds of like mints and gums and stuff, and it just like broke my heart because I was like, I love that movie so much, and I'm like, you were like stoned the whole time.
Yeah. But he had a real life crush on her too. So
no kidding?
Yeah,
I didn't read that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, I'm wrong. It's a different.
But I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
it was Jennifer Love Hewitt in the late '90s, of course.
LFO
We all
had a song about her.
Yeah,
yeah,
girl on TV. Anyway, important to note that Berna did have a groin injury, so that did slow her down. Obviously, that would be a factor with them pulling the sleigh. Also, with Berna, we did not see her butt this week, and I'm actually a little sad I didn't see her butt. I've gotten used to seeing it in the challenges, and I don't know, a week without Berna's butt made me sad. Berna, where was your butt?
Listen, I don't want to get graphic here. 2 seasons ago, when we first met Olivia, there was one episode where I was like, hey, did you happen to see, like,
Oh yeah, she. Yeah.
Berna had the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not. What are you thinking about?
I don't know what you're thinking about.
I brought up that on one of their outfits, Olivia had what some people would call like a camel toe.
Oh.
And Berna's was pretty. Olivia's was very apparent. Berna's was right there too. So we didn't see the butt, but there was something else.
I wasn't looking for that.
I wasn't looking either. it was there, and it was during this like conversation that she's having about her groin or whatever else. So anyway, again, guys don't get mad at me about it. I'm just here to report.
That is always like the amount of like checking you do with like leggings and like spandex. It is like obsessive amount, and that's always the fear.
Yeah,
it's like always the fear of like raising your arm in like a gray t-shirt and having like big sweaty pits. It's kind of the same thing.
I'm not saying that's normal for her. She's doing a challenge that we think is great. One that she's not gonna be thinking twice about that. I wouldn't blame her for any of that.
But yeah, I wish I don't know. I missed her butt. Anyway, so this is where Michelle gets really, really pushy.
Yeah.
This is baloney. Just finish out, Jay. Pull the damn thing to the end. You don't stop. I've never seen you quit on anything. This is embarrassing showing.
That like Jay is going slow, and I think she's just like armchair quarterbacking. She's very frustrated that she's not playing and wants her alliance to do well. And
what did she say? Was it her or Jay that said some quote during this that she was like, they need to know how to do this, or Jay was saying something like, I need to do this because I need to.
There was some quote. Yeah, you're right.
There was something about everyone else needs to prove something. I need to prove it to. It wasn't like I need to prove it. They all need to prove themselves. I don't know if it was Michelle or Jay. And eventually, I said, none of them are champions. No one can talk about anyone else. The whole thing about this is none of you are champions. So you can't just say like they need to step up. But it was at this moment like Michelle was like, I think, or Jay said something like, this is where teammates need to stand up. And I think it was Jay. And he's like, I need to see who's really ready to fight through this with me. And like, what do you mean? You haven't.
Raven, Asaf, Zara win this one again. And Horacio and Nurys were so cute. By the way, they were partners, and like pulling the sleigh or sled, a sleigh because it's
fine. Yeah.
Christmas time,
yeah, sure.
And who was? I think it was Jay said like Horacio looks like cute in the abs and everything, and then it's like, is Nurys helping? I don't know, like, but she's like smiling, and it's just great. Yeah, and I felt the same way.
That's awesome. But Jay, you're in the middle of competition. We are watching it on a couch.
Oh, and I think that he did say that. I think he said that's why I'm sucking is because I'm watching. Or no, that's what you said. That's why he's sucking because he's watching them.
He's not doing his job.
Also eliminated Corey and Olivia. Makes sense. And Jay and Mariah lost. That I was surprised that Jay and Mariah lost this just because of like how strong Mariah is. And that does make sense why Michelle was frustrated. Because I think it was like about like the turning it around.
Oh yeah,
thing.
Yeah, she was saying that too.
Yeah. All right, so third one is pick up sticks. Race with your sticks. You have to stick them in your puzzle piece, run them back, then solve your puzzle. Berna and Emmanuel kill it on running with the pieces.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's just them and then the trio. And I think at this point, Berna and Emmanuel are going to win this.
Yeah, and this again, I think I hate to do this every week, folks. Be like the producer taking, but there's like an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And in Act 2, it's like we're gonna give you like kind of the false ones, and they basically be like, Berna's got a groin injury, she's got it here. She's like, I got it here, not so much here, And then they right away are running together, and you're like, and you would think like anyone else, like. Yeah, like 3 people run together with the stick. It's got to be tough to get down there and make sure they, and a couple things about getting in the wrong hole. We're like, okay, it must be tough with a threesome to get in the wrong hole sometimes.
Oh,
so hey, but yeah, Three's Company. Anyway, but they do make it seem like and Berna are gonna run away with this
for sure. And then just solving the puzzle. it doesn't seem like one team is better at puzzle solving. It just seems like Asaf's team seemed to get it before Brennan and Manuel.
Yeah.
Although Kylan, so Asaf
jeez,
celebrates and does some like back handsprings because this is the first challenge he's won. I'm sorry, when people say the phrase like "act like you've won before," he has not won before.
Yeah.
So let him freaking celebrate. Kylan, tell me about how many freaking wins you have. Like, I'm starting to be. I'm not the tone in my voice. I guess I'm past starting to be on your team with annoyed by Kylan.
You think Asaf had just won an Academy Award. Like, it's a 5 or 6 piece puzzle. Right now, you should probably have your head down about how long it took you to solve it.
I didn't like
don't be like, oh, you should be sad because it took you so long to solve that puzzle. Get out of here.
Yeah,
let the man do his back handsprings.
Yeah.
Say good job.
Acting like he won the Oscars. Like, that was a bad reference. I don't know. I mean,
right?
Would it be Cuba Gooding Jr.? Did he do a flip when he won it for?
No, but he was very enthusiastic, and I actually remember watching those. He was very enthusiastic.
His whole thing, act like you are in the number 5 athletic event in the United States. You could have acted like he won the MVP of the Stanley Cup, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Commissioner's Cup, all these things. Instead, he picks the Oscars.
Heck, a bowl game.
Yeah, exactly. The Rose Bowl, the National Championship. Let's keep going. March Madness. All these things that we put you, Kylan, up in this level of athletes, and you pick. That's something by Price Waterhouse that they count up all the tablets or whatever else by old white guys somewhere that they decided whether or not you win the Oscar. Kylan, you swing and miss way too many times.
I mean, he's going for it. I'd probably have weird things that I would say to try to be funny in my interviews too. But that's the reason why I'm not cast on a show like that.
Yeah, and on top of it, that's the reason why Kylan's not funny at all. So.
Melissa had a funny line. She gets voted in pretty easily.
And unfortunately for me, I clearly threw a drink in the wrong girl's face because she's got me back pretty quickly. But if I go down into elimination and my name is pulled, I will be coming back.
I couldn't agree more.
It was so good. I appreciate the humility of it all.
Yeah.
Then again, there's more of this. Do we vote in Mariah? Is there a chance we can sway the votes? Because we don't know where Mariah stands, being that she's with James. And I have a whole page of notes, and it doesn't really matter. But what I don't like about it that frustrates me, and it keeps happening, is there are these conversations about swaying the votes. And this, I think I'm overly tired about this because it's happened a lot this last season on Big Brother, is you see this about, okay, we're gonna sway the votes, we're gonna change them, and then it doesn't. And unfortunately, they do vote in Melissa. But before that, we do get to see Zara and Asaf talking about mobility, and then they do there's a long portion of them doing frog jumps in the yard.
Yeah,
that went on for what seemed like a very long time.
Yeah, it was. If it was 15 seconds, it was 15 seconds too long.
I do agree that mobility is great. So is strength training though.
Sure.
Anyway, moving
feed 'em
on.
Booze. That's great too. It said feed them booze. That's great too. Let them dance and let us figure out songs. That's awesome. We like that as well. I don't need to see frog jumps. I could care less. Do a burpee. I don't care.
That is true. Yeah. This week's party night was kind of like meh.
No, the whole party night was what? Melissa yelling at Asaf, right?
Yeah, pretty much
for no reason.
I don't think
you're already in.
Oh, and then
what do you get out of that? You're already in.
And then Colleen talking to Ed. It seems the people that are getting ready to get voted in like to just talk to Ed.
Yeah, and every time he's like, yeah, and then his confession's like, I'm still voting. Every time he
must just be someone that people feel comfortable with to vent to.
Yeah, he's like Weekend at Bernie's. He's not really doing anything. He's just sitting there, and they're talking, and he's just nodding his head, yeah, it's great. And then he just turns around and then he's like, "Yeah, it was a great conversation, but yeah,
He's like, put on the Asaf song. Let's dance.
Then he wakes up. Yeah, he's great though. I do like it. He's like, they talk to me, but yeah, they're still. I mean, he's nothing but smiles. That dude's grin is ear to ear.
It is, and seeing those tiny little clips do lead me to believe that he just must be like a friend to everyone. Very like he would get like probably most congenial or Mr. Congeniality of the house, based on what I'm seeing. All right, so for the nominations, I wrote boo.
Yeah,
everyone chickens out because they voted for Colleen. Go to elimination, and it's Tori.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, this could be good. TJ looked good.
Yeah.
I'm not a facial hair person, but he had like just a little bit of extra scruff, and his hair was like
pointed out.
His hair was like, no, I think his scruff looks nice. It's not like straggly. Then his hair was like brushed back nicely, and he had like a gray, I'd call it maybe a shacket, like that shirt jacket situation.
Since we're talking about TJ, can I interject one time when Nerys said something like when they were pairing up everyone, and she said Horacio, and she was like, TJ, did you randomly do this? You looking at our windows? And I said to you, he is not looking at our windows. That dude is living in a suite. When I say that, I don't say it in a bad way. Because that guy, and if you've listened to anything outside here, I'm sure we've talked about it before, he has a routine everywhere he goes. And where are they at right now?
Croatia.
Okay.
It's a house they've been in before.
He has probably made friends at a local coffee shop that he's there at like 5:30 in the morning. He probably has a running like soccer game with local kids there. He probably like tutors some of them or whatever else.
Meets a neighbor dog.
And meets a neighbor dog and probably has already donated tons of money to somewhere in the neighborhood.
And also music. Find people to play music with.
Yeah. And you think I'm making this up. I'm not. Listen to any podcast that he's on. He does not do, he shows up.
And running 5K. And running 5Ks in his slides.
Yes. Memorize what he needs to memorize the best he can, then improvise what he needs to, and moves on. He is not looking in there.
No.
He's not paying attention. The only time he ever comes in is there if they lay hands on each other, and he says like that. So just wanted to give that PSA.
It was a cute line, though. It was cute of her to say. Because, anybody that would, I mean, a lot of those people that were, like Berna and Emmanuel, come on, those two are friends. That doesn't seem that random. Obviously, Horacio and Nerys, that doesn't seem that random. You know what I mean? So I get it, and it was a cute line. But
it's not random. No, it's not. But it's not by TJ. The producers are doing it because they're trying to figure out if they can get some more story out of it.
Indeed. We go to the draw. So it's either going to be Colleen or Melissa. Tori draws Melissa pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's called Going Under. So there's a big cube filled with water, puzzle inside. You have to pull the rope down. That's going to give you the answer key. And then the puzzle pieces are scattered on the bottom of the dome or whatever you want to call it, the cube. You have to grab them, put them on the puzzle, and then say check. I did not think this was a crazy difficult challenge. Obviously, the water added to it. But the best part of all is right before they're getting ready to go in.
Yeah.
Tori, like, chilling quietly. Like says to Mariah, almost like she didn't expect that it was going to be filmed.
Yeah, it was what the F, dude.
She says,
Mariah, this is not good. He's heartbroken. Heartbroken, dude. Heartbroken. Wait, I thought everything was a secret.
He's heartbroken.
Yeah.
Heartbroken. And she's like, she's saying it like at that volume. Heartbroken.
Yeah.
Heartbroken. Like not trying to like, obviously she could have probably, I don't know how it works with if she would have had an opportunity to pull her aside or not in that situation. But, whew.
Yeah, the outside of the heartbroken.
I liked being a fly on the wall there.
She said he's heartbroken. Now, she pointed like to his eyes like he can see. Or to his brain, I don't know. But she pointed to her head. So that he sees what's going on. People know. But she goes, he's heartbroken. She's like, heartbroken. I did the same thing you did. But yeah, Mariah, she's like, what the F, dude? And
well, clearly, like, Devin had just been there. And Devin was all like, Don't call me
Yeah,
Nostradamus, but I'm pretty sure she's banging that
That's-
giant
yeah.
guy.
Yep.
But I also think there's spoilers that are out
I don't know.
or
But,
production.
yeah, what
somebody
Olivia say? I thought it was like.
I thought this was a secret. I
she's
guess
like,
not.
But then Mariah tried to make it too much. Like, oh, just call me out. I don't want to cry in front of
What
you.
I thought was strange and that told me that this relationship is not gonna last. Okay, so they're like around a corner and they being Mariah and James. Okay. And she's like kind of like teary and he goes, "Don't let it affect your game." And she's like, I won't. I'm sad that like I don't want to like hurt somebody's feelings and like I didn't know that he knew, essentially, is what she's saying. Bro. Like that guy is just like that. Just I don't know anything about this James guy, but like
No. You're
that
leaving out
comes
the best
off
part.
so freaking dumb.
No, you're leaving out the best part.
What's the best part?
He said, "Don't let it affect your game." She's like, "I'm not." And there's that. And he goes, "You're still beautiful." He's still laying on the line. He's like, "I'm in." He's like that small point in the back of her head that maybe he didn't get all the way into her dome. Now that part that was holding her back, she knows that he knows, and she's like, "I got nothing to go home to." And he's like, "No, you're still beautiful. You're great. I think you're flawless to me." He didn't even need to say any of that. All he said was, "You're still beautiful." He's like, "Don't let it affect your game." He's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "You're still beautiful." Yeah. That is the guy that watches like that is the legitimate guy that's been like, no, he just the first semester of college, there's long distance relationship and the guy that happens to have the same major as your girlfriend. Like, no, he's just my good friend in studies. And then, you come into town to visit your long distance and you're at this bar or whatever. And then you're like, you guys have this big fling up. You're like, fine, I'm just going to go back to the dorm room. And he's like, don't worry about that. You're still beautiful. Are you having a good night? Is there anything? And the guy's like trying to slide in.
That was very
bad.
specific, but also at the same time, I feel like something that does happen to lots of people.
Oh yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that understand that. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I realize her not being sure about him and then being like, all right, cool. Like I have feelings for this guy and like I'm intimate with him. So clearly that is telling me that I don't want to be with this guy. And I also I get her choosing not to call him on the show because that could potentially be a video call and that could be incredibly humiliating.
Yeah, but don't you think, like, cut the cameras? This is a legit thing. Like, I would be like,
I don't know, because she's so new. If it was Bananas on the show,
Bananas would be like, I'm not doing this.
It would be one thing, but she's so new, having her first show being the last season of the challenge that she did. I don't know that she would know to tell them things like that.
It's a very tough thing to do.
Do you know what I mean?
She couldn't like pull him up and be like, "Hey, I got something to talk to you, but it's important, and I need us to talk to the producers to cut the camera."
Or worse, if she knew that there might be an inclination,
dude, she's
from
just ghosting him. Get this
from Devin, but
She's
if she knew, like Devin potentially told him, because like that weird conversation and stuff when she was like, or him, and then if she were to call him and have him like scold her, that would also be really embarrassing as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's just ghosting him and trying to just avoid the whole situation in general.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but either way, it was very, as a fan, it was very intriguing for me for like Tori to be like, dude.
Yeah. No, I thought it was interesting. I did not see that coming at all.
No.
Not one bit. So.
Elimination goes fine. I think Melissa does okay. Our homie Kylan says that, she doesn't like water or puzzles.
Remember it for yourself. I know Melissa doesn't like diving, and she doesn't like puzzles, and she has expressed to me many times how bad her memory is.
Yeah, you've known her for how many weeks, Kylan? You're just so into her psyche. This is great. Button up a button, buddy. Or two, or three.
First check, Tori doesn't get it. She goes down, fixes it, and then ends up winning. That's the episode.
That's the episode. She goes home. Then she's like, okay, see you guys. F off. See you next season. And kind of like, whoa, wait. And then they come and kiss. And it's like, oh. She's like, I'm just cheering for him. Like, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And Melissa looked beautiful.
She really
in
did.
her
Yeah.
goodbye.
I mean,
Like, her eyes
first
were
things first.
sparkly.
Hold on a second. I understand they're wearing goggles, but her makeup was still perfect.
Oh my God.
that.
I need to, Melissa, for real, hit a girl up. I need to figure out what you're wearing for your makeup because
there was
my makeup,
I'm not big on
does not stay on.
accents. It doesn't matter if you're blonde, brunette, or whatever else. I don't have someone I'm attracted to or anything. But I was like, she looks really good
Gorgeous.
out of coming out of that pool, whatever else. And how did her makeup stay on that well?
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's goggles, everything else. She looked really good. So good for her. You look good on your way out, and that'll definitely get
and
you
was
back
humble
in.
on her
Yeah.
way out as
Yeah.
well. And
She said, I'll see you next season.
mhm.
She's not done.
I appreciate that. And you know what? She gave us a lot this season.
Yeah.
She gave us all the good stuff that I enjoy.
And yeah.
And she's actually a pretty decent competitor on top of everything. I don't think people give her enough credit.
She got the we'll see you soon. I'm sure we'll see you soon by TJ. You went up against a hell of a competitor. That's not. Tori took $10,000. That's great.
Who won the episode?
That's a good question.
Oh, by the way, I just have one more thing that has been in my head in regards to the Tori thing. So the hat that Mariah is wearing, it's like a blossom hat.
Sure. Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. It was hot. It was pink or dark pink with some bleaches on.
But it's flipped up.
Mhm.
And when I saw it, it was killing me because it was reminding me of my favorite episode of The Simpsons where Lisa tries to be cool.
Oh yeah.
And Milhouse is like, Lisa's hanging out with some cool kids. And she looks like Blossom. That's exactly what it was.
Whatever. Whatever.
Who's your date or whatever else?
Oh, yeah.
He looks like you, Poindexter. Yeah. It's a great one.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah. But
But
someone
anyway.
else is wearing a hat during this too. Which
Berna was next to
Yeah.
her, but it was
He's coming back in style here.
Berna's was more of the what's it called? Where it's basically that hat but flat.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. You can flip it up.
But the flip up is the more blossom. Of course, it had the flower on it.
Sunflower hat. Anyway,
Bucket hat. For the love of God, we lost the term. There it is.
Yeah.
Bucket
Who
hat.
wins? Bucket hat wins the episode.
For real.
I guess.
I
I don't know who wins this episode. So much.
Manuel for getting all the strange.
Yeah, on top of it, we just when he gets pointed out by Colleen, and he's like, "Yeah, she just likes to flirt with me." He doesn't care.
I know,
He
almost
doesn't care that she's in the person's in the next room. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. She just likes to flirt with me. I didn't do it."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, this is not what we're gonna continue. We're just gonna have no strings attached type of, and not even that. It's we're gonna move on." He's like, "Oh yeah," because he it doesn't get through his head at all. So, I don't know. I'm gonna say his name wrong again. Asaf. Asaf. Because he got his first win. He got everything he needed.
You know what? I'm down to give him a win, especially
Yeah.
since we kind of talked some smack on him last week. But also, we also found out that it was his song that they were
Yeah.
rocking out
And
to.
his kid's been talking since he came out of the womb, since forever. So look at this
yeah,
guy. Yeah,
we'll give Asaf the win.
sure.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Loss.
Mariah takes the L in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not in any bad way. It just kind of just happened, and I don't want to feel like it's compounding on it. But she knows the look isn't good. So.
It's the banana stuff, but it's also the way she's aligning herself because of James and because of her friendship with Zaza, that her alliance now is
Everybody
we don't
knows
trust
it.
her.
Everybody's yeah.
And she is Raven is now climbing their ladder.
Yeah.
And Mariah is now, I think, at the bottom at this point of the American alliance.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. So, yeah, I agree with that. She should take the L, this episode.
Cringeworthy moments.
Oh.
The badminton.
The badminton just was, yeah. It wasn't.
Asaf said, "Am I the new Devin?" and they put like
Devin's face on his hair.
on his hair. That was kind of cute, but also cringy.
Yeah, it wasn't something I want to see. Neither was the badminton.
Oh, you know what? The cringe was Michelle. When Michelle was overly
yelling at them during
yelling at the team. Yeah.
And you don't stop. I've never seen you quit on anything. This is embarrassing showing. Turn it around. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Jay and Mariah, my 2 number ones. It's like watching Dumb and Dumber.
That made me cringe. I was very uncomfortable because
I didn't
like
you
don't quite understand her, that doesn't seem to me like her normal behavior, and that was like, ooh.
Yeah. You're over the top rooting for somebody way too much. Just dial it back. Because, yeah.
And then do we have a best line? I clearly threw the drink in the wrong girl's face.
That's a good one. Or am I the new Devin?
Am I the new Devin?
Yeah. But I don't know if that. I think it's I clearly threw the.
Oh, it's got to be he's heartbroken.
No, it's more Mariah. What the F, dude?
Mariah.
Like,
yeah.
I think that when you come across that way,
Mariah, like, what the F, dude?
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, he's heartbroken. Those are, you can throw them both together. I do like I clearly threw the wrong drink in the wrong girl's face. It's good, but I do like that. But we have to give it a clearly threw the wrong drink. Tori is not. What did I say when they were talking about it at the end? They're like, she's in my way or whatever else. I'm like, she is not in your way in this competition.
Yeah, Olivia said
something like, she's not in your way.
She's a
obstacle
competitor in this game.
She's not in the game. So I don't want to give her anything, Tori. That I think it's great that she pointed it out.
It was nice to see her, and she looks great. God, that hair is awesome.
She brought in something from the outside that they needed, because so many times that they're secluded, they don't have their phones, they don't whatever else, and that little thing,
that real world, like the real world still exists.
And what she did is she may have just been doing that. Mariah, you're a friend. I'm a friend of Bananas, but she put a huge target on her back now because people on the outside somehow are talking about what's going on the inside. And I don't want to be aligned with something like that, because when the reunion comes out or
another season,
it's going to be like, oh, you had her back when she was doing all this. So it's a great line, but I clearly threw the wrong drink in the wrong girl's face. Gets to go there. But I honestly, if you said I'm going to override it, executive decision, I want it to be Tori, I would not argue with you at all of that.
I think that's the best line, but the moment of the night, if we were to say that was the moment. That was if I want you to see 20 seconds of the episode and you haven't seen it, I'm going to send you that 20-second clip.
Absolutely. Just as long as it also in that 20 seconds isn't James saying like you're still beautiful. So, that's like that weird Batman Robin
a cringe
meme where it's like slap like wrong time, buddy. Yeah, that is cringe. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else for me?
No. Any tea or anything?
No tea this week. God, this week went by really fast.
Yeah. Real quick, you watching any of the Big Brother reindeer games?
No, I've seen some things about it. I'm actually down to watch it. I think I might give it a whirl.
Yeah.
I know Josh is on it.
Yeah. Catch up a couple episodes over the weekend. I think there are only like 2 down. I think the other one's tomorrow night. It's going to be very fast. Like really fast.
Okay.
Like
I'm down for that.
3 weeks.
Okay, that's much better.
Yeah.
Is it like Big Brother, like they're all in the house?
Yeah, they're all in the house, but like daily it goes bam, 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 bam. So I think it's only 3 weeks, maybe 9 episodes or whatever else. It is very fast.
Okay.
Like they're gonna this will be done by Christmas.
Did you watch Love and Basketball?
The movie, no.
That was your homework last week.
I know. There's no way I'm going to find time to do that. I don't even know when that's going to... If my time to watch this would have been during COVID. I've mentioned that.
Ask Sophia if she's seen it. Get the highlights.
She has not seen it. Maybe over Christmas break we'll watch it. I don't know if that's appropriate. I have to figure that out first.
There's a couple scenes that you might want to not be in the room for because it's very... Yeah. I'll tell you all about it. Anyway, also House of Villains.
I haven't watched
that. I gotta watch that one too. Bananas is doing great.
I gotta watch House of Villains. I got sucked in this dumb Netflix show called Obliterated. It is the dumbest. It's up there. I mean, I watched a lot of dumb television. A lot. It is up there. I think I'm like on episode 6. It's about this like covert team that has to like deal with this nuke weapons, but when they thought they got their last covert team thing done, and they decided to get wasted in Las Vegas, but now they have like 9 hours because they got the wrong nuke, but they're all hammered on like booze and drugs and all this other stuff. Nick Zan was in it. I have
Weird.
Time. C. Thomas Howell plays somebody else. Ponyboy's in it. Yeah, those people I don't know. I don't know why I got into this. I have no idea. I should be watching.
It sounds terrible.
I don't know.
I've watched worse things.
Yeah,
I've watched
you
worse
like
things.
Things that blow up, and you like people partying, and there's sexual tension. It's there.
It's the challenge.
It's the challenge. When they have pyrotechnics. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Well, follow us on Twitter, Final Alliance 1. On Instagram, we're Final Alliance. On YouTube, we're Final Alliance Podcast. Please comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, we're Final Alliance Podcast. Deuces.